Hello everybody, my name is Kamar and today we will be reviewing our 22nd installment of Season 3 of Bubble Guppies. Season 3, Episode 22, The Running of the Bullfrogs. In this episode, after Gil and Goby bring a tadpole to school, the class learns about the life cycle of frogs. Now, I really like this episode. I remember seeing promos of it. growing up, and I would say that this is a pretty good episode. As somebody who grew up loving Princess Tiana, because the Princess and the Frog, I was kind of excited for this episode. Would you call me weird if when I was younger, I kind of hoped they would have a frog kissing scene. I don't know why, but it just happened like that. But thank God that didn't happen. Thank God. Me older knowing that not all good fairy tales have to have a kiss. Or this ain't even a fairy tale episode. This is just the only namesake reference we have here is the running of the bulls. So, yeah. So, on our episode starts with Gil and Goby swimming to school. The two GG boys back at it again. They come across a pond, and they see a frog on the lily pad, and they see one of the frogs jump in. And I love how we get like a view of like the water, like we're looking. It's like it's hard to explain. Like we have like a shot in the water, and then we're looking above where Goby and Gil are looking. It's really good. And then Goby does something with at first I used to do, not with like frogs, with bugs, but I don't do that anymore. He takes a jar. Thank God there's air holes in it, and he picks up a tadpole. That's not. I normally don't like to question on like. I normally don't want to be like the one to like question like every action a cartoon character is doing, like how this affect the children type of vibe. I don't like doing that. But in this case, I kind of have to stand. I kind of have to put my foot down a little because, let's just say that wouldn't really go well. I'm sorry if you hear that noise, and I'm sorry if you hear that. That wouldn't really go well, Goby. Even though there's air holes, having something that lives in water, in the same water you put it in for a certain amount of time, even if it is from where they live, that can kind of end in DEATH. So yeah, not the best idea to show children that, because I feel like if kids are impressionable, I feel like if they see this episode, they're gonna want to take a tadpole out of take a fish from where they anywhere that have water. That's not really a good idea. But like I said before, I don't want to be the one to like questioning every cartoon character's move. But it's just that in this case, I kind of have to stand. So if you got, hopefully you guys can understand. So I'm sorry for that boom too. Jesus Christ. So then Gilby calls him Fernando, which already kind of sets the vibe of we get a teeny bit of Mexican in there. And then he calls him Fernando with his little trumpet in the background, which I really like. And then they send to school and they want to show Fernando to their friends. And then when they finally get to school, they're showing everybody Fernando, and Goby's explaining that he's just a baby, and he's even saying a baby what? And they say it's a baby frog, and Una says it doesn't look like a frog. And then Mr. Grouper explains that when frogs are baby, they have tails instead of legs, and when they get older, they're gonna gain legs. They're gonna turn into a frog. And we have Nani, as always, telling us the facts, putting them out there, saying that frogs are amphibians. They live on water and on land. And we have Goby saying Fernando's my favorite amphibian. I call him Fernando. And the way Dima and Goby just looked at each other was just really funny. It's kind of a blink and you missed it moment. It's just really funny. And then we have our question segment about how do frogs change. And then we have our pop song, Little Froggy. And I have to say that it's on the same level as lungs breathe and hearts beat. When Molly and Gil together, whoo, it's so good. You know what? In this case, you know how most of the time, 90% of the time, I sing the pop songs. I can't do it this time. I can't do it this time. I can't because I feel like I'm gonna screw up on a note, and Molly, she sung so beautifully. So I can. So for any of you who wanted me to sing it, I'm sorry, I can't. I have to give it to the VAs, the singing VAs themselves for singing this because the amount of wind you need to sing those type of lyrics, not even the lyrics, like those type of notes, like, whoo. And if you heard Molly in the song, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm sorry, I can't sing it this time. Hopefully you guys understand. But then I also like in the song, it's kind of gross. It's kind of gross. We have okay. I'll sing one lyric. One lyric. It's pretty easy. And I always love it when you breathe through your skin. And then we see bubbles from where the frog is sitting. I know that implicates that he's breathing, but kind of looks like something else. If I'm being serious. And I also like Una, in the song we just said, hey, yeah, how do, no, hey, amphibian, and then we have Una saying, tell me what that means again, and then Gil singing again, he says, they live on water and land. Oh, I hit that, okay, I hit that, okay. Alright, and then we have our shop segment with Dima, shopkeeper as always, and I like in which he says, if you're happy and you know it, then come with me. Clap your hands. I'm sorry. And then we have Una, she wants to take pictures of froggies. And I like in the shop segment how we learn about different types of frogs and how they use to survive, camouflage, which is pretty awesome. I like that. It's pretty cool. And then we have our lunch joke with Una, Molly, and Nani. They all have on frog costumes, but when I was younger, I mean, they kind of looked a teeny bit weird to me. But now that I'm older, it kind of looks like a warped version of something. It does. Their costumes don't. This might be the first time me in the series ever saying that. Well, besides my rant on their antennas from the Bubble Biathlon, that something about their costumes doesn't look right. And this is the main case right here. It looks like a warped version of a certain something. But I'm not gonna say no names. But anyway, we have our Molly and sorry, lunch joke, Jesus. Gobi, sorry, my God. Naughty got popcorn. we have green little frog themed popcorn. Well, it's not really, okay, I guess you can call it frog themed. I'm sorry about the sirens. It's green. So, yeah. And it reminds me of, like, you know that flavored colored popcorn? Like, I don't think I see it anymore in my dollar store, honestly. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'll pop a picture right here. I'm pretty sure they used to sell it at the circus, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I tried it like once or twice and I spit it back out because, in my case, sweet and salty does not mix. But personally. And then we have our Molly and Gil segment. Gil's basically spending these segments trying to find a frog. And he's in like this little like swimming pond pool that he made. And he has a lily pad on top of his head. And then we have Bubble Puppy scaring him. He's scaring him. And then we have in the classroom, they're all playing frogs. Nani, he's a cute little toad. He's hiding under the sandbox. The rest of the girls are pretending to be, I want to say, the breed that Fernando is. I'm sorry. And then we have Gobi. He's so cute. He's playing a tree frog. It's adorable. And the little sound he makes is also very, very cute. And then he hops by Fernando and he sees that he calls everybody over because he finally grew legs. And they say he's growing into a frog finally. And then sorry, I had to swallow. And then Mr. Grouper explains that it's not the things happen before the four stages of a frog. And he explains that first the mommy frog has to lay eggs, and then the eggs have to sit out for a little bit, and then once the frog gets older, they're gonna start going. They're gonna, get to their cycles, and they're gonna start growing legs. And then this is, I don't know if I ever said this, but I think this is like one of the few cases where I actually notice the bubble. They actually say something about the bubble. You know, that bubble that shows about what they're learning about, like a little animation. They normally just look at it most of the time. 90% of the time they look at it. Because we have Gobi, when the bubble's still active, showing them the life cycle of a frog. We hear Gobi saying, "Hey, that's what Fernando looks like right now." And this is actually one of the few times in the show they actually say something about the bubble in front of them. But this is my first time noticing it. Maybe there was like other times. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there's other times. But this is one of the few times I can name, in my opinion. So yeah. And then we have our outside segment, and if someone had to ask me, do I have any demon moment? What are my favorite demon moments of season 3? What are they? I already mentioned one in the Bubble BF one. I already mentioned some of them in Bubble Scrubbies. I even mentioned let me see. That's all I can name about the top. But this one is my favorite. I love this one. I love this story segment. This is my top 5 favorite story segments in the season. I love it. So it's just so fun. And I love how Gil, he's a narrator. He narrates the story like it was an actual book. I mean, that's how it is for all their books, but this type of narration brings something special to the table. I can't put my finger on it. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know. But we have Dima, who's Dr. Frogginstein, and we have Nani, who's her assistant, Egor, because frog egg. Oh my god, it's too fun. It's too fun. And you could tell Grace Kaufman had an amazing time doing this. She did. She did. Because we have so many references of It's Alive. It's alive. And then we have Diva saying, "It's a pie." And then we have another one where she's like, "A giant frog." And then we have lightning in the background. Oh my god, it's too much fun. It's too much fun. Oh my goodness. And we have Nani saying, "Yes, master." And there's one scene in this side story that makes me crack up so hard. Whenever this story comes on, I can already feel myself giggling. Whenever I think about this episode, this is the first scene I think about. It's when the second time around, the fly comes back, and Diva's like, "Egor, get the fly's water!" And then literally, I kid you not, Nani grabs it, and it didn't do anything. He just literally smacks it onto his hand. No emotion in the fly's eye. Which, actually, fun fact, is the same fly from the story segment back in Boy Meets Squirrel, which I'm very happy for. And then Dima saying, "Well, that was ineffective." Oh my god! The fact that it was just a complete smack, and then it's like, okay, what was that supposed to do? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh god! That scene makes me crack myself up every single time. Okay, all right, I'm good. Oh god, I'm good. Okay, I'm good. Okay, and then they have to figure out a plan for that giant fly, to get rid of the giant fly, and then they suggest a giant frog. A giant frog. And then we have to help them during the transformation of the giant frog egg, because some of the stages get mixed up. And then when it's finally the frog comes to their tower, all the frog has to do is just literally smack its tongue on its face, and then fly starts crying. And it literally, you guys remember, I don't know if you've seen it, I don't know if it went around last year, 2 years before, I don't know, I don't really like this show. I mean, I don't really like the show because of its violence and stuff. It's like the South Park sound TikTok meme. I'm gonna say meme. I believe it was I don't even know the character's name. Uh, what did he say? What's his name? The guy who sounds like this. I don't. Um, I. I don't. I forgot his name. And then he's like, "Let's go. That's right. You me right now. That's right. You me right now." And then literally he gets plucked, and then he starts crying like, That's what it reminds me of. But this came way before that, so yeah, you already know the Bubble Guppies. They the OG. And then the fly just explained that he just wanted some pie, and the demon said, "You should just ask." And then everybody gets pie. It's a happy ending, at first. And then the demon says, "I think the giant frog is hungry too." And then he starts eyeing the fly, and then he says, "I should go," with the fork in his hand. Like, buddy, you could have took your pie with you. Nobody's touching it. That's what I would have done. In my opinion, of course. But, and then we have our dance song, the frog dance. Pretty decent song. I like it. Once again, Grace Kaufman coming through with the vocals as always. And then we have another Molly and Gil segment. Gil, this time he's trying to find a tree frog. This time doing a tree frog call. And once again, Bubble Puppy scaring him. And then we have our field trip segment. Before that, we see Fernando, and he's finally grown up. And then Gobi says, "Fernando's a frog now. We're gonna take him back to his pond." And then we have and then this is where we have our title drop here, the running of the Bullfrogs. And then we have we get explained by the announcer and this really nice design looking snail. Her name is we have Senor Rana, and then we have the Señorita Rebetina. I'm sorry, I butchered the name, but it's fun name play. I like it. So then they explain that their runners have to run with their frog to different parts of the center where they're running back to the pond. And like how we also see the bubble duckies again. Yay! I'm so happy. But we don't see Beep. I'm very, very, very questionable about that. Maybe it's a different set of bubble duckies. Could be. But I want to see my little Beeparoonie. I love him. But anyway, they have to go to different centers of the town where are actually represented by the different frog stages. And I like how when they're running, we even see the Guppies cheering on Fernando. I like that. My boy's getting respect. I like that a lot. Which just goes to show you that the crowd really grew to like him. He was like a secondary pet. Like Bubble Puppy was. I mean, certainly not to like replace Clam or anything. Not that I'm upset about it. Maybe I am. Forget about it. I didn't mean that because like forget about him. I mean forget about it, like he's never coming back. Why am I even bothering? But aside from that, during the race, Fernando gets distracted by a fly, which will come into play way later on at the end. Gobi and Gil have to go after him, and then when they finally catch up to them and they want to go back to the race, they don't know which way to go. So then we have to help them. And then all the rest of the frogs, they make it to the pond, but then the Guppies are wondering about Fernando because he didn't make it yet. But then we finally see them coming up. And then it's finally time to say goodbye and part ways. And then it was so sweet. They're like, "Goodbye, Fernando. We'll miss you." And then we have Fernando eating the fly that he wanted to eat, which people on the fandom are saying that this is an on-screen death. But I mean, like, hey, I can name a good handful of kid shows that are not gory or anything, that are kid shows, and we see frogs eating flies, and it's not classified as an on-screen death. It's just the way life goes. So that's a little bit far. So, my opinion, of course. And then that's the end of our field trip segment. Last Molly and Gil segment. Molly's happy that Fernando got to go back home. And then we see Gil and Bubble Puppy dressed as flies, willing to attract a frog. And they're buzzing, seeing if it might work. But it doesn't, because we see the frog from the story. And we see Dima saying, "It's a frog!" It's too much fun. It's too much fun. Which, Dima, were you trying to scare Gil? Were you? Giving you the side eye here. I'm giving you the side eye here, girly. Which, and another thing, this is canon that their characters from their stories that they make up during storybook segments can actually come into their world. Can come into their world. So, I feel like that's kind of cool. But in this case, kind of freaky. And that ends our episode. So overall, I really like this episode. I feel like it was really fun. I feel like I did a good job of talking about Frog's life cycle. I like the running of the bull reference. I really do. And I really enjoyed this episode. I really did. So I'm going to give this episode a solid 9. I feel like I did a really good job. I really liked it. It was really good. So, yeah, I like it. It was a really good episode. Now, tune in with me next time as we'll be reviewing one of my personal favorite episodes of this season, because I'm an animal lover, and this episode has a lot of what I like. Next episode. So, tune in with me next time as we'll be reviewing Season 3, Episode 23, Bubble Kitty. See you all next time.